Hello and welcome to another walk around video. Today we're going to be taking a look at this 2005 Renault Master, previously owned by St John's Ambulance Service, which in my opinion is one of the better ambulance services to get your pre-loved ambulances from. Just a quick walk around the sides here so you can check out the bodywork. Pretty straight in my opinion. Few things that I would be personally sorting out. And of course we can discuss whether you want these things doing or you want to take it as it is, but these little holes here where the side deflectors repeaters have been, common theme on ambulances. You've got a little bit of corrosion and paint removal here. Now that there is down to shoddy removal of stickers, and that there is just wear and tear, etc. Coming around here, we got, once again, looks like a side repeater's missing there and there. So there are a few spots there. Down here, in my opinion, I'll be getting these sills stone chipped. That's probably the best way to do things. Right, before I turned on the camera, I did lock the van. I can find the bloody key. Give me one sec. Oh, here we go. Right. One thing you should always do before buying an ambulance is see whether the central locking works, because oftentimes it doesn't. Now, in this one in particular, this one here and the rear doors aren't communicating with the key, so we do need to investigate that, or a quick fix, if we can't fix it, is we're hoping the prospect buyer will be removing the bulkhead, in which, you know, of course, you can lock these items from the inside. Alternatively, you can lock this one with the key. However, this side door here isn't responding to the central locking, or is it responding to the key? So that's a bloody shame. Another downfall of this van is, like many ambulances, the Genesis system, which is the brain center of this ambulance, doesn't seem to be working. Now, we're getting action from the air conditioning, which feeds from the cab here. It's actually positioned up here and expels through the back as well. We're communicating with the air conditioning, which I can assume that it's run off a separate system, which is pretty handy really. But this thing over here, which controls the lighting, well, we've got the extraction unit, intake and extake. Your diesel night heater, we're not getting any power to that. So we'll have to either investigate that. If we can't fix it, of course, we'll rewire the night heater so you can switch it on here, but you won't be able to use any of the lights or the extraction unit. Now, I have argued in the past that if you're buying an ambulance, you should buy it to purchase all these key features, take out the unreliable Genesis systems that exist in them, because truthfully, you know, you don't want to catch yourself in the middle of Portugal relying on a Genesis system, and it goes wrong, because you know you can have a bad time over there. So my advice would be to allow us to rewire the night heater so you can get some heat in here, because it is still winter time. You can use the air conditioning system if you are planning to drive to Morocco straight away, but you will have to rewire your own lights / 240 and everything else. The 240 doesn't actually exist in this one, so you'll have to get an inverter and etc, etc. But you can use the pre-existing split charge system, the leisure batteries, and all the lighting, the extraction unit and everything else, but you just have to wire it up to your own little system, which in my opinion is the wisest way to do things. So if you are in Portugal and you're caught up and something goes wrong, you sort of know how to fix it because you've done it yourself. Right, what have we got here then? Little side step. Quite handy. Night heater is going to be positioned under there. That's out there. That's in there. Where's the hell's the exhaust? There's the exhaust. Common problems on those: thermostat goes wrong, or the electric fuel pump seizes up from lack of use. So I'm certain we'll be getting this one going, but just to let you know, just in case you buy one from elsewhere and it goes wrong. This one, unfortunately, like many of the Renault Master ambulances, I mean, I'd say 95% of the ambulances I've had on a Renault Master base have unfortunately had the 6-speed manual transmission. Now, you know, it's better than a Ford Transit transmission, it's better than a Peugeot Boxer and a Citroen Relay transmission, but it's not as good as the 5-speed Renault Master transmission. So I just thought I'd note my opinion on that one. It starts up well. It is in very good mechanical condition. I couldn't fault it on anything actually. Let's just start it up here. It starts up. No smoke. Things are sounding healthy. Knock it off. There's your auxiliary battery isolator. There's your emergency start. Now that system takes power from the leisure battery, which is stowed under here, and the engine or normal battery, which is stowed under there. Just in case that one runs out of power, you can bring the two together and give yourself some life. Now, there you go. So the air conditioning unit is only going to be running when the ignition's on and the engine's running, which is very wise because it does take a lot of power up. So it's blowing very well there. So how many settings we've got here? We've got 1, 2, 3 settings. Quick look at some dimensions, although I've already taken a few myself. As you can see, aircon's blowing nice hot air from that, which once again is a bloody good bonus because there isn't many ambulances out there that have air conditioning in them at all, so that is a good bonus right there. Knock it off. So that's still running now. That is now running. Oh, and it's gone. So I'll have to look into that, whether it'll run for a bit longer when the batteries are a bit more charged up. I don't really know, but I'm just guessing there. Electric windows, electric mirrors. Not exactly a common theme on all ambulances, so that's a good bonus. I would say that by all extents, this is a pretty well-spec'd machine. Let's get around here. So yeah, I've turned the isolator off, I suppose, for the auxiliary battery, and you see we're getting some power here, but nothing on here at all. So maybe a 5-minute quick go on it might fix it, but I highly doubt it. So I don't know. Well, time will tell whether we've got it going. As you can see here, they've put a stud wall in, which I recommend to a lot of people that buy these ambulances, because oftentimes they have too many windows. I mean, a lot of the St. John's don't have windows here or here, they have them in the front, which I think is very good, because if you put your bed along the back with your 1.88 meters of space, you don't really want a window there, privacy and insulation. But what you can do is, with this one here, is replicate what they've done there, insulate behind it and then put a stud wall in front of it. So you've got a control panel here for your suspension, you've got one in the front, that's working very well. I've tried that all out. What else have we got here? Oh yeah, back onto the air suspension for a sec. I would recommend, if you have any problems with the air suspension in the future, I would recommend either converting it to springs straight away, or when it does go wrong, because it will go wrong, getting that changed up to springs. I've had a good look underneath it. As you find with lots of Renault Masters, the chassis are very well galvanised, etc. So this one's no exception, it's in very good condition. Right, what else can we show you? Look at that. Imagine yourself in Portugal and you think, oh, something's gone wrong in the back. Let me just open up this fuse box. I know exactly what to do. Answer's no, I don't think so. Right. Tyres, very good condition, I'd say. Average of, say, what, 65% all round. All Michelins, no spares, which is the same with all ambulances pretty much. 169,000 miles. She's seen some tarmac, but in the grand scheme of things, she's got a hell of a lot of life left in her. Out of all the ambulances I've got up there, I've got one Renault Master with 460,000 miles, and the average mileage is probably 200,000 miles. So yeah, generally speaking, not particularly high mileage, but to someone that's just buying a normal panel van, you go out and buy one that's 169,000, I think you should be questioning yourself. But these ones here have been travelling around at 40 miles per hour, driven by people with giving respect and everything else, so they do tend to be better looked after than normal vans. Good locker space up here, very good quality. Change the covers on those or leave them if you like them. As for insulation in these vans, they're good for a day van. If you're going to be living in it full time, you want to be ripping all this stuff out and starting again, making use of the foundations, but ultimately adding a hell of a lot more insulation. It's fine if you want to just throw a bed in the back, go away with your kids for the weekend, but full-time living and long time away from the home, couple of weeks or so, I think you should be investing in a bit of time into getting it stripped out and stuff like that. Well, hopefully I've showed you everything there is to know about this ambulance. If you have any questions, drop us a message on the Facebook site or give us a call. Thanks very much. Bye bye.